Hey guys. So what I've done here is I've cleaned off the entire layout, got all the buildings and the rolling stock and engines put away, and I have just finished spray painting the track. So you can kind of get a look here to see what color I used. It's the same one that I used when I showed you the lift out section that had the scenery on it. I think it's, well, it's Rust-Oleum, and it is a semi-gloss, which when it hits the cork here, it really doesn't have any gloss to it at all. It's Rust-Oleum, I guess anodized bronze is the color. So that's it right there. It's kind of got a little bit of a gray cast to it, I suppose. But anyway, so that's all done, and I've got the top of the rail heads cleaned off, and I have tested all of the conductivity with all of the tracks with that locomotive back there. So about to begin putting scenery on, I think. Hard to imagine, but so within the next few days, I'm going to try and get that done. And what I'd like to do with these monthly updates is I will film the activities or not film, but record the activities as I go through the month and complete tasks. And then for the monthly update, I'll just compile a bunch of clips. And that way I remember what I did, and you can kind of see the progress as it goes along. So I think we'll try that for this first monthly update in April and see how that goes. And, if it doesn't work, we'll do something different. So be back soon. All right, so what I'm working on right now is getting some photo backdrop buildings assembled and put in place. I'm not exactly sure where I got these buildings. I had them on an old computer drive that I discovered recently. So I've got, I don't know, about 20 of these buildings that I have printed just on regular printer paper. And I'm using this dollar store spray adhesive, Promax multi-purpose spray glue. It's working really well. So basically you just spray it on, here's the one I'm going to put on here. You just spray it on the back and you get it transferred onto the foam core here within about 20 seconds, and then flatten it out. So this one I just adhered, so you can see it's pretty well stuck. And those pictures are pretty good. I mean, my printer's not all that good, but I'm happy with those. So I'm going to finish this, and then I will show you what that looks like. So how I'm doing this is I'm just going ahead and spraying the backside, and then setting the picture down on the foam core and spreading it from center to the outside edge. And then once I get it adhered, I just take this little 6-inch ruler and kind of gently smooth the photo onto the foam core, just to make sure all of the bubbles and ridges and such are out of it. And then once this dries, obviously I'll cut this out with an X-Acto knife, and then we can arrange them on the layout and see where best they might go. Well, I recorded a segment here that I managed to delete somehow, so I'm going to try and start this over. So the buildings that I have adhered to the foam core are dry, and you can see that we've got a bit of a curling issue here. So that's quite a bit of a twist there. I'm going to try and cut some of these out, and we'll see how badly they're curled. It may, a few of them are loose here and there. It may be okay on the smaller width, once I get them cut out, and I'll see if maybe I can straighten them out a bit. But anyway, what I had said on the segment that I managed to delete was that I couldn't remember where I'd got these buildings from, but if any of you are interested in them, just let me know. I will put my email address in the comment section, in the information section And just shoot me an email if you'd like to have these buildings. I can send them to you. They're in, I think they're PDFs, but they could just be regular graphics files. I actually don't remember. I think they're graphics files. And you can stick them into a word processing program. And if you have a ruler on the word processing program, you can kind of, stretch them to be the right scale for HO. They are HO, but I did have to rescale mine just a bit. If you have N or O or S, whatever gauge you might have, you can shrink them or expand them as necessary and print them out. So again, just let me know. My email address will be in the comments. So just shoot me an email, let me know if you want them, and I'll send them to you. So I'm going to cut a few of these out and see what the curl looks like. Be right back. All right, guys, so I'm out here on the workbench, and I have the buildings cut out of one sheet and stacked upside down underneath these two drills. So I'm going to see if that'll straighten them out. I'm going to leave them there for a day and see what they look like tomorrow. And then if they have not straightened out at all, I may have to spray the front side with some water, or maybe mist the back side with some water. I'm afraid if I miss the front, then the ink may run. So I don't know. We'll just go with this and we'll see what it's like tomorrow. So I've decided not to cut any more out till I see if these will straighten out. So be back soon. All right, so what I'm going to do here is work on putting a concrete parking lot into this area at the end of the yard. I don't know if you had noticed, but I had a yard tower sitting in here. So what I'm going to do is use one of these foam sheets that, let's see, I'm not sure where I got these. They're 30 by 45 centimeters, and let's see, which is about 12 by 18, I guess. And I would say it's 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe a little under 1/8 of an inch. But anyway, what I did, which somehow I forgot to turn on the camera, was I just set the square foam sheet in here and marked on this edge where the tracks are. So I want to cut back this direction because I have the height gauge in here in the back. So I want to cut back to this point here. And then what I did to find the radius there for my other cut was I just pressed down on the foam sheet as it was laying on top of the rails and put a mark on the bottom side. So I've made that initial cut at the rail. And if I can flip this over, I don't know if this will show up on the video or not. If you can tell, like right in here, you can just barely see the edge of the ties. So I'm going to cut inside that mark here, and then get that fit in, and then we'll see how this is going to go down. All right, so there's the foam sheet put in there. I think probably what I'm going to do is just end the parking lot here, put my fence that I showed earlier up around the edge here, and then just scenic that area in this little triangle piece here. But next thing I'm going to do is glue this down and then weather it and color it so it looks like a weathered parking lot rather than a brand new white foam sheet. So that's going to be the next step. All right, so I have spread a very thin coat of Elmer's clear glue on here. I think you can probably see the reflection. So I have just kind of drizzled the glue on there and then used my 6-inch ruler to smooth it out. So I'm going to set down the parking lot and put some weights on it, and we will go from there. All right, so I put some masonite down underneath the locomotives there and just have them sitting on the parking lot. And I got another one over here with an extra piece of the foam underneath it. So the foam is fairly soft. I'm concerned that without anything under the locomotives, why the wheels would dent the parking lot. So I've got those lifted up. But hopefully this will stick down fairly quick. And the next steps will be to cut some score lines in the parking lot to look like expansion joints. And I have this paint called Pavement, which is a standard apple barrel color. I don't know if that is showing up very well. Let's see. Well, anyway, take my word for it. It's called Pavement. So it's a real light gray. Kind of looks like a weathered asphalt, maybe really really dark concrete. So I'm going to use that as a base coat, and if it looks too dark, why, we'll lighten it up a little bit with some white. But once this dries, I'll cut the expansion joints in there and then begin to paint it. So, all right, I don't know how well this is going to show up here, but I'm back at the workbench again, and I have a scrap piece of that foam, and I have put some of that pavement colored paint on here and brushed it very, very thin. So it's more of an asphalt color, I guess, rather than concrete. So I'm going to use this definitely as the base coat. You can see where if you dry brush it or push it very thinly, the white is kind of showing through from the foam, and it's actually a little bit brighter on the camera here than it actually is in real life. This area right here is not that white, but I think that technique is going to work. Just putting a few drops on there and then using a very large brush to push it around. And again, if I need to change the color or brighten it up a bit, I can do that afterwards. So, but anyway, that's what it's going to look like, more or less. Okay, so I'm going to lay out the road in the town here this morning, and I've got what I think is everything where I want it. So let's just go back here for a second and reference the plan. You can see the roadway, how it's in the plan. So that this right here, the center of the road is about midpoint in this aisleway. My aisleway is a bit larger than what's in the plan. So what I've done here, let's take this away for a minute, is I've got the center point of the aisle marked here. This would be the two edges of the roads, this mark here and this one here. And I want to leave a straight piece of the road from here to here, so I have room to run a street this way. And the reason for that is to kind of pick up, have a way to get back to the engine facility back here. So the angle looks to be about like that. Again, looking back at the plan, here is where that road crosses the track in the back there, and unfortunately it's cut off here, but let me just slide this down. So that's around midpoint of the peninsula, which I think is going to be good for me because it'll allow me some distance between this siding, which goes back, this is part of the lumberyard area. It'll give me some more space between the siding and the houses that are on this side of the street, so that I can fill in with either a small hill or trees or something, just to make to make it look like the houses aren't backing up on the lumberyard. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do now, and I have these yardsticks in here just to give me the right side of the road. And once I get that in, I'm just going to use a Sharpie to mark that. And then I've got the other point here as well, which is right here. That's the left side of the road, this little corner. So I'll be running another line down there to indicate that side of the road. All right, so paving tape is down. I'm going to use Smooth It in here. And that's going to be where the street is. And up here I've got kind of a rounded corner here and a rounded corner here. you know, and then again, there's going to be a street this way. So I want to mix up some Smooth It and we'll put it down. All right, so the road's in. I mixed up way too much Smooth It, but anyway, it's in, and hopefully it'll dry within a day or two. I think 24 hours is the suggested time. I've got a couple of lumps down here on this end, but I think once that all dries, I can kind of sand that smooth, and it'll just look like, you know, I can make them look like areas of repair on the street if I need to. So got a little bit on the fascia here, which I'll wipe off in just a minute. But other than that, I think we're good to go. Anything that's, you know, all the stuff that's outside of over here, you know, I'll clean that up when I pull the paving tape off. And then the majority of that's going to be either removed or covered up. So anyway, I'm going to make this a concrete street. So I think the Smooth It dries pretty white. So I do have some paint that I'm going to try, a mixture of a real light tan and a gray to make it look like concrete. And then so once this is in, and then the paving tape is removed, I'll go ahead and create some sidewalks out of some foam sheets. And then once the sidewalks are in, we can place the houses and buildings and such. So that's kind of where we are right now. You know, so this is like watching paint dry, only worse. So be back soon. All right, so I'm starting to peel off the foam tape here, and I've pulled this one edge off, and you see it's got a pretty good, nice clean edge. So hopefully the rest of this will go as well. And once I get that done, I'm going to sand the surface of the road. I have made a little flat sanding block here out of a piece of masonite and some sandpaper. So hopefully that will get everything nice and smooth. Be back shortly. All right, so I've started in the yard area back here by my height gauge, spreading some of this. It's called light cinder ballast. I don't know where I got this or when, but it's real fine. It's probably N scale. But I'm using a ballast spreader that I bought on eBay, and I have run the first length of ballast, and it ran about 3 feet, I guess, on a full load of ballast. So sorry, I'm going to get a brush and kind of spread this out, and just to take a, you know, before I do too much, just to make sure it's going to work okay. All right, so this is coming along pretty good, I think. I've just taken my little fantail brush here and spread the ballast out evenly with the ties and along the side of the rail. So I like this spreader. I've seen 100 different ballast spreading techniques over the years, and not many folks use a spreader. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just don't like it. Maybe it makes it too uniform for them. I don't know. But I'm going to continue working on the yard here, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got all of the yard ballasted here. Still have to do a little bit of touch up before I glue it down, but I had enough of that fine cinder ballast to do the whole yard as well as the lead. I've got a little bit to finish up here. You can see this part of the lead is not done yet, but I do have enough to finish that. So I think that's going to wrap it up on the ballasting section here, so I'll be back shortly. So I just wanted to also share the update here on the engine facility. This section right here is where the engine house goes, so obviously that's normally not visible back here. But I have the concrete pad installed, which is again one of those white foam sheets, just painted sort of a concrete gray color. And next to it is the Bachmann fueling facility. There's a couple of fueling stands missing that I've got to put back in. This one here got broken off, but I do have it, so I'll glue that back in. But I think other than that, that pretty much is going to do it for the April update. This road is completely dry now. It looks pretty good. I think I may do this as an asphalt road rather than a concrete road, just because there are a little, I don't know, quite a few of imperfections in it that show up more in in real life than they do on the video. But I'm still pleased with how the road came out. Still have to remove the stuff along the edge here yet. I haven't done that, obviously, because you're looking at it. But and I'll have to also do the crossing down here. I do have a wooden crossing kit to put in there, and I wasn't sure about the lead up to the crossing, so that'll be part of probably the May update. But I think that's it for now. Appreciate you guys hanging with me through all of this. I know it's a long video, but just want to kind of give everybody an update on what I've done the past month. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you soon. So one last update. I put a gravel parking lot in here at the engine facility, and the only reason that I chose to do that was this is very thin, the roadway, compared to the thickness of this foam sheet over here. So the gravel parking lot allowed me to slope from this level to that level, and I just used my trusty 6-inch ruler to kind of screed that gravel across there. So obviously got to be glued yet, but anyway, all right, I promise that's it. Last update. Talk to you soon.